One of the quietest forms of suffering is the pain of feeling unappreciated. Most people do not wake up expecting applause, but somewhere deep inside they hope that their kindness will be noticed, their efforts will be acknowledged, and their sacrifices will be remembered. When that does not happen, disappointment slowly settles into the heart. Over time, that disappointment can become resentment, sadness, or even the belief that one's efforts no longer matter. The Buddha invited us to examine this suffering carefully, not by blaming others, but by understanding the hidden expectations that give rise to it. Imagine carrying a fragrant flower through a busy marketplace. The flower releases its beautiful scent into the air without asking who notices it. Some people pause to admire its fragrance, while others hurry past without a glance. Yet the flower never withholds its fragrance because someone failed to appreciate it. Its nature is simply to bloom. In the same way, our acts of kindness lose none of their goodness simply because they go unnoticed. The value of compassion does not depend upon applause. This does not mean appreciation is meaningless. Gratitude strengthens relationships, encourages generosity, and brings joy to both the giver and the receiver. The Buddha himself praised gratitude as a rare and noble quality. But there is an important difference between appreciating gratitude and depending upon it. When gratitude becomes a condition for our happiness, we hand the key to our peace over to someone else. Often we believe we are giving freely, but if we observe our minds honestly, we may discover an invisible contract. We help a friend, expecting loyalty in return. We support a family member, hoping they will remember our sacrifice. We work tirelessly, expecting recognition from our employer. None of these expectations may be spoken aloud, yet they quietly shape our emotions. When reality fails to honor these unspoken agreements, suffering appears. Think of a person planting seeds in a garden. If they dig up the soil every morning to check whether the seeds are growing, they only disturb the process. Healthy growth requires patience and trust. Likewise, every generous action is like planting a seed. Once the seed has been planted, constantly checking whether others noticed or appreciated it only disturbs our own peace. The act itself has already become part of our character and contributes to the well-being of the world, whether anyone recognizes it or not. One reason appreciation feels so important is that we often connect it to our sense of identity. We unconsciously ask ourselves, if no one values what I do, am I valuable? The Buddha challenged this assumption by pointing out that our worth does not arise from praise or blame. These are changing conditions, like weather passing across the sky. A sunny morning does not make the mountain greater, and a storm does not make it smaller. The mountain simply remains what it is. Similarly, our dignity is not created by compliments nor destroyed by criticism. The Buddha frequently spoke about the 8 worldly winds: praise and blame, gain and loss, fame and disrepute, pleasure and pain. These conditions continually change throughout life. Today someone praises us, tomorrow the same person may criticize us. If our happiness rises and falls with these shifting winds, our peace will always remain fragile. Wisdom teaches us to stand firmly while these winds blow in every direction. Consider a candle lighting another candle. The original flame loses nothing by sharing its light. It does not stop burning because the second candle fails to thank it. Light naturally gives light. In the same way, generosity naturally gives. When our giving becomes an expression of our deepest values rather than a transaction seeking recognition, it becomes much lighter and more joyful. This does not mean allowing ourselves to be exploited. Buddhism does not encourage endless self-sacrifice without wisdom. If someone repeatedly takes advantage of our kindness while showing no respect, compassion may require setting healthy boundaries. A wise person knows that generosity and discernment must walk together. Giving should arise from wisdom, not from the desperate hope of finally earning someone's approval. Many people spend years trying to fill an invisible cup that can never remain full. A compliment fills it briefly, but soon it feels empty again. Another thank you brings temporary satisfaction, followed by another longing for recognition. The Buddha showed that this cup has no bottom because craving itself cannot be permanently satisfied. No amount of external appreciation can permanently heal an inner dependence on approval. Instead, Buddhism encourages us to cultivate what could be called inner appreciation. After acting kindly, we quietly recognize a wholesome action has been performed. There is no pride in this recognition, only peaceful acknowledgement. We know that we acted according to wisdom and compassion. Whether others notice becomes secondary because our own conscience remains clear. Imagine a musician practicing alone in a quiet room. There is no audience, no applause, and no awards waiting at the end. Yet each note played with care strengthens the musician's skill. In the same way, every act of patience, forgiveness, generosity, and compassion strengthens the heart, even when no one is watching. Our character is shaped not by recognition, but by repetition. Sometimes the people we help are simply unable to express gratitude. They may be overwhelmed by suffering, limited by emotional immaturity, consumed by their own fears, or accustomed to receiving help without reflecting upon it. Understanding this does not excuse harmful behavior, but it softens resentment. Instead of asking, "Why aren't they grateful?" we begin asking, "What conditions have shaped this person's mind?" Compassion naturally grows when we see that every mind is conditioned. The practice of generosity becomes especially powerful when we offer without calculating the return. This is known in Buddhism as dana, the perfection of giving. True generosity is not measured by the size of the gift, but by the freedom of the heart while giving it. A small act offered without expectation often carries more spiritual value than a grand gesture performed for admiration. There is also freedom in allowing people to misunderstand us. We spend tremendous energy trying to ensure everyone recognizes our intentions. Yet the Buddha reminded us that we cannot control another person's thoughts. We can only purify our own intentions. If our actions are rooted in kindness and wisdom, they have already fulfilled their highest purpose. As we mature in practice, appreciation becomes something we enjoy rather than something we require. Gratitude from others is welcomed like gentle rain nourishing a garden, but our inner peace no longer depends upon whether the rain arrives. We continue cultivating the garden because growing beautiful flowers is worthwhile in itself. The path of the Bodhisattva illustrates this beautifully. A Bodhisattva serves countless beings without expecting praise, remembrance, or reward. Compassion flows naturally because suffering calls for compassion, just as a river flows downhill without asking who will admire its journey. This is not emotional coldness, it is love that has become free from bargaining. The next time you notice disappointment because someone failed to appreciate your efforts, pause for a moment. Instead of immediately blaming them, gently examine your own mind. Ask yourself, was there an expectation hidden beneath my kindness? This question is not meant to create guilt, but to reveal attachment. Every attachment we discover becomes another opportunity to deepen our freedom. In the end, the greatest reward for kindness is not gratitude from others, but the transformation of our own heart. Every selfless act weakens greed, softens the ego, and strengthens compassion. These are treasures that no one can give us, and no one can take away. When kindness itself becomes the reward, appreciation becomes a beautiful gift rather than a necessary condition for happiness.